We are still in the Gospel of John, and you can go ahead and turn over to chapter 12, which is where we'll be starting. And just to kind of recap and get you kind of up to date, last week we were in chapter 11, and it was basically the story of two sisters and a brother, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. And with that in mind, let's start in chapter 1. This is after his buddy Lazarus was raised from the dead. Well, wait a minute. Before I start reading, let me set the context for you. Do you know that the reason that he became friends with Martha, Mary, and brother Lazarus is because one day at a meeting, this lady named Mary, who was not invited, because she had been a pretty bad, immoral, promiscuous kind of person, she came into where Jesus was, and she knelt down at his feet, and she wept and cried so hard that she was basically washing his feet with her tears, because she felt so bad about her lifestyle and things that she'd done. And she repented so intensely that she was basically washing his feet with her tears, and the only towel she could use to kind of clean them up was her hair. Okay, and that's kind of where this relationship started. He became friends with her and her sister Martha and her brother Lazarus, and Lazarus died, and Jesus brought him back to life. So with that as the context, start in chapter 12. Jesus, therefore, 6 days before the Passover, he came back to Bethany, where Lazarus was. The Lazarus Jesus had raised from the dead. And so they being Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, they made him supper. Get that? Jesus was going back through their town, and when they knew he was coming, they fixed supper and invited him over to the house. And once again, guess what? Martha was serving. Again. Martha, the worker. Martha, the busy bee. Martha, they fixed supper. Jesus came in the house, and Martha went to work. Martha goes to serving. But Lazarus was one of those reclining at the table with Jesus, just laying back with him. And Mary, remember what she did originally with her tears. Mary took a pound of very, very expensive perfume. A pound of pure, what they call pure nard. The expensive stuff. And now Jesus this time he's coming through there, and he's got his 12 boys with him, all the disciples. Remember the very first time she washed his feet with her tears. And now after her brother was raised from the dead, he's back, and she goes back down to Jesus' feet while her sister Martha's busy feeding everybody and serving everything. Mary drops back down to Jesus' feet and pours a pound of incredibly expensive perfume all over his feet this time. And then guess what else she did? She anointed the feet of Jesus, and she wiped his feet with her hair again. Mary did it again. Okay. And the whole house was filled with fragrance of this perfume. And one of his 12 guys, his treasurer, Judas Iscariot, who was stealing money off the top, he got really mad about this. And that's a different story. He was basically saying, you know, why is this chick that used to basically be a hooker, why is she wasting all this expensive perfume on your feet? That stuff's worth $300. Maybe more than that. That stuff is worth 300 denarii, 300 days' wages. That's how expensive it was. I mean, it was very expensive. She's pouring a pound of stuff on you, Jesus, on your feet, it's worth 300 days' wages. That's a lot of money. He was not happy about it. And he was saying, why didn't she just donate that to our ministry, and then we could sell it and feed a lot of hungry people, which was really a lie. I mean, he was saying that, but that's not what he wanted to do. Really what he was wanting to do. Why can't she donate that to our ministry, and I'm the treasurer, I'll sell it, and I'll put all that money in our checking account, and then I'll be sneaking me a little off the top, but you guys won't know that. So that's what he did. He was skimming off the top. And that's what he was ticked off about. Dude, she is wasting something worth thousands and thousands of dollars on your feet, Jesus. Man, we could put that money in our checking account. I could have stole some of that. But Jesus says, leave her alone. Leave her alone. So she can keep this for the day of my burial. And Judas, the poor people on this planet, you're always going to have. There's always going to be poor. See, I'm paraphrasing. I'm translating, if you will. Say, dude, there's always going to be 400 people. But I'm not going to be here forever. Physically. Leave her alone. Judas. You're always going to have hungry people. But she's doing something that you don't even understand.